What's going on, YouTube and y'all squad? This is your boy Yocrates. This is your review for Love and Marriage Huntsville. Really quickly, yes, I know I am late with these reviews. Meant to do them on Monday, but I got caught up working and whatnot, and then we had a tornado watch, some heavy rain, whatever. Yesterday, was ready to do the reviews, and yeah, there was a block party outside, and I wasn't going to do a review with music playing in the background and possibly get hit with copyright strikes. So here we are today. So y'all know I didn't do last week's episode because we was on strike. From what I heard, it wasn't all that, so we just gonna start right now. So it's Wanda's potato tasting, and Kiki enters. Kiki and Tisha exchange some fake, I'm about to start cursing, some fake pleasantries. And then Kiki says to Tisha, I called you, you never responded. Tisha says she doesn't remember a missed call, apologized, and then says, well, I'm not talking to you anyway. Maybe she remembered that her mama was there and that was her backup. So that's what she wanted to go with. Or maybe she just forgot, like, hold on, wait, I'm not talking to you. Whatever. Kiki asks, what's the issue, as if you don't know. Tisha doesn't want to have an issue with her tonight because, it's her mother's, event. So Kiki says, we aren't. Oh, wait. I don't know what I put here. So, I guess, oh no, we're around family, so bring it out. Tisha says a lot of damage has been, a lot has changed between us, and she made it that way. With her and Mel's relationship, not knowing where they stand. You're my cousin. If people are talking about me, you don't join in. And I do understand that. Now, I know, it's been this big old discussion amongst reviewers and content creators of that blind loyalty to family. And where people stand on that, and then also people, saying objectively, looking at her and how she's doing, quote unquote, family. If you can do family like that, well, then what say you won't do me like that? So, I get all of that. You feel what I'm saying? So, Kiki doesn't know why Tisha would allow her husband to bring out her business. Because the way that it happened, I don't know if I wrote it down, is she told Tisha whatever her issue was, and then Tisha told her husband pillow talk. And it went from pillow talk to just, being put out there, So Tisha addresses the table because, they're all, because like I said, hey, they're sitting at the table, it is what it is. Mentions Kiki is holding on to something from 5 to 10 years ago she thought that they had got over. Says Kiki must be playing, get back. She doesn't operate like that, and she's done, and she walks away. Okay, and again, I've already said this before, but unless both parties walked away from whatever previous discussion they had with an understanding of we've, turned over every rock that we could, we have a shared understanding of boundaries and where what went wrong, unless that truly happened, then they never really got over it. Or if Tisha walked away with the perception that they did, but Kiki said yes, but then reneged on it and never shared that with Tisha, then that's a Kiki problem. Anyway, so Tisha walks away. Kiki begins to tell her version of the story. Mentions how Tisha told her husband things that was only meant for her ears, so I did write it down. Tisha rejoins, and then they have a back and forth over things. Marceau interjects and says, it was him who told, which we've already kind of, put two and two together, and it was already said, but, he cops to it. Says just because it's her business doesn't mean it's her personal business. I get what he was trying to say. I just didn't like the word choice. It's pretty much what he's saying is like, it may be your business, but when your business has the ability to impact other people's lives, then it may be your personal business, but it's not just yours at that particular point if it's going to impact somebody else. That much I understand, right? And again, the fact that this is giving me very much Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, where Crystal has an issue, but ain't gonna tell her what the issue is, which is cool. You don't have to, but the fact that we're constantly, going around in circles on this carousel, and ain't nobody said what the issue is, I'm truly starting to lose interest. I'm already starting to lose interest. I'm just trying to be consistent because I've already started talking about this mess. So cousin Bernard tells another family member Marceau is an ish starter, and Marceau tells him, "Shut the F up, Bernard." And the funny thing is, Bernard, so smooth, shut up. I guess Bernard realized, like, okay, I think I might have pushed things a little bit too far. And the thing is, we seldomly don't see Marceau this mad. And I know a lot of people probably looking like, Marceau, that is an L. Look, we ain't even do that talk. Hey, look, Marceau told him to shut the up, and he did it. It is what it is. So, I'm about to reread that line. I'm trying to get through this because it's almost 6 minutes in. Anyway, so Kiki asks, why is this being brought back up if they settle things? No, I'm sorry. Kiki is asked, why is this being brought back up if they quote unquote settle things? Being asked by somebody at the table. Kiki says every time they settle things, Tisha does something to stir it back up. And here's one thing that I'm going to say. So what I'm getting from this is they've talked about it. Kiki ain't let it go, but she said that she would, but she hasn't fully dealt with it. And what happened is Tisha does something. And rather than Kiki address, I'm still mad about this, she uses whatever she did as a reason to just go smooth off and giving her energy from something in the past that she doesn't even know that you still mad about. And I'm not even trying to defend Tisha, but I gotta call a thing a thing. So Tisha and Kiki, they do some back and forth. Tisha's brother T-Man, kind of gets in between them. Kiki says to Tisha, she did nothing to her. Marceau says, you're doing something now. Wanda wants to know what's going on. She interjects. She says if they can't talk one civilized person at a time, then she will shut this down. They already said we from the other side of the track and look what we doing. And I find it to be funny. So you don't want nobody cutting up at your event, but you go to other people's event and cut the food? I know you lying. But ain't nobody call her out, so I'm going to let it go. Kiki says if she told the most personal things, so she's trying to say, like, she couldn't get the thought out, but she was, pretty much trying to say, if I told something that was personal to them, blah, blah, blah. But before she could finish, Marceau says all of Huntsville knew. With an attitude, so again, now Marceau, he ain't here for it. Letitia cousin Jennifer, which happens to be Kiki's sister, tells Marceau he's causing the friction. And he's contributing to it. He might be causing it. I don't feel like going too deep. But anyway, Tisha tells Jennifer that's her sister started the friction talking about infidelity when we never had that conversation. Kiki says she will bring it out. And Tisha says, go ahead. And Kiki's like, okay, well, when Marceau, and she's somewhere being pulled by a family member, almost kind of one of those like, no, let's not do this. Marceau gets in his bag and yells at her and says, do it, so I can burn this place down, And I get the feeling, maybe he felt that Kiki really knew something, because you wouldn't have got that turned up. Now, it could be that it's a culmination of stuff, and this was just his breaking point. Or it's Kiki knows something, and that was his way of trying to deflect, because Kiki said that with a smirk on her face. It's like, oh, I got your car. Oh, I got you now. And he said he going off, so Amin, who is Kiki's husband, jumps in, and pretty much is just kind of like checking him, just like, okay, hold on, bro. Like, you ain't gonna talk to my wife like that. Like, I'm gonna need for you to, like, bring it down a couple levels, because you doing the most. And Marceau gets up and goes over to talk to him. Wanda's trying to keep them separate. But, Marceau is like, no. And Marceau calmly talks to Amin, because all that, his chest got deflated. Okay. And pretty much just telling him, like, this didn't need to happen. Like, this is crazy. Let me see. Where else am I? So Tisha says to Kiki, you told me to watch out for the hoes, yet you team up with them. So you tell me to watch out for them because they're trying to destroy my marriage, but you team up with the same exact people that's trying to destroy my marriage. Make that make sense. So now Tisha's emotional. She walks away. She says she never talked to her about Marceau cheating ever. And Kiki says, so now Kiki at one point got mad and ended up calling her the B word and then had to pull it back. So, like, this lets you know, like, this is some real ish going on. And again, Tisha truly is emotional, right? And Kiki says, we never talked about spouses cheating. Tisha says, yes, and Kiki says, we talked about it. Now, the way that came out, it was almost like we talked about, spouse in general and cheating and all this other stuff. So when she said to Mel, we've had conversations, I really wish Kiki would have went further into detail and really provided the context of what it is that they said, because the way that she presented it, it did leave a lot to be, desired and easy to fill in the blanks and whatnot. And let me see. Well, I missed my spot. Hold on. So Wanda says Kiki brought this to Mel. And, one of the family members suggests to Kiki that maybe Mel is trying to destroy them. And in essence, using you as the vessel in which to do so. Kiki says she doesn't see it. Marceau warns Kiki that she will, she's going to be used. Well, she's being used. And when Mel is done using you, she is going to throw you to the side. Mel pretty much place a bug in your ear, slim out, put a battery in your back, and look what it is that you're doing. Wanda pretty much danced the combo, asked them if they liked the food, and then she says, she doesn't want to hear about this anymore. And this goes back to the situation's not really being dealt with, because now it's like, well, I don't want to hear about this no more, but nothing is resolved, which means that this is going to continue to fester and then manifest itself in other ways. Like, okay, all right, again, people, if this is how they want to operate, it's their family, it ain't mine, I ain't got it to do. So anyway, we get Destiny and Kimmy. All right, look, y'all, I'm finna just breeze through the rest of this. First and foremost, Kimmy ain't got no damn storyline, so she goes over to meet with Destiny. Now I'm not even looking at my damn notes, so I don't even care. Meets with Destiny to see how she's doing post, the housewoman and whatnot. They talk about that, and then the whole sweetie comment comes up, and Kimmy whole thing is like, I wish that Stormy would have had more grace, and you have Destiny said, well, I've called her sweetie many times before, but this is also one of those where, but you're in conflict now. That's just like, because I mean, it could be anything where, even if it's a sibling, like, it's stuff that I can say to a sibling or to my parents where I wish somebody else would come up and say the same damn thing. It's going to be a problem. But at the same time, if I'm in conflict with them, I'm probably not going to sit here and call them some of the, silly names or whatever that I normally do call them, because we in conflict, that can be misinterpreted. So, yeah, she may not have meant it that way, but again, you in conflict with somebody, and again, Destiny, you're an older woman. I'm 35, going on 36, so you're either my age or a little bit older. You're fully aware of what it is and what it was that you were doing. And all you had to do is say, you know what, I apologize. I will use sweetie for the rest of this conversation, seeing that's how we have an issue. But you didn't, and you chose to get up and walk away. It seemed like you was looking for a reason to not really have that conversation. And yeah, Destiny talks about, the depth of, the relationship between her and Mel. We don't care. We get Tiffany and Lou. She pops up to spend time, and then she asks him, well, why didn't you bring up the trip when I came home? And he was like, well, I was waiting for you to say something, but I also feel that maybe he was waiting for them to have this moment on camera. But okay, you looking for a reason to be mad? We don't care. We get Martell and Melnika, his manager. They outside. Her Gucci belt's upside down. Ain't none of my business. They talk business, the guest list. She brings up the tutor. He said he's taking the test in a couple of weeks. All right, cool, whatever. We get Tisha and Marceau. They rehash the event. Marceau wants what? He wants a legit plan before giving this loan to her mother. Where it's just like, it pretty much, he don't mind doing it, but if there isn't a legit plan, all this other stuff, who gonna run this? And pretty much how they're going to recoup these finances and whatnot. He doesn't feel like just throwing the money away, which is pretty much what they're going to do. Tisha is her over Kiki and is changing her expectations, which is good. That's what you need to do as you grow as a person. Tisha says to Marceau, when I ask you a serious question, give me a serious answer. He obliges, but then says to her, can you not ask me a question I feel is disrespectful? And here's the thing. It's one thing to be disrespected. It's another thing to feel disrespected. And he says that's disrespectful to his character. Which, yes, not everything she sees on the blog she should bring to her husband. But what he low-key is saying is, don't bring me no bad news that I got to sit here and try to defend myself. And if you stop putting yourself in precarious situations, then this wouldn't be an issue. Anyway, we get Kimmy and Mel. Mel just dropped her song. The road trip is rehashed. Kimmy brings up her checking on Destiny. And Mel pretty much was, if we can say, doing the Christian thing. But her thing is, I don't hate her to where I wouldn't check on her. I see somebody, that's hurting. I went to check in. That's that on that. And she said she doesn't wish her any ill will. Mel mentions, they talked. And Destiny was a little bit defensive. So she said, okay, since you're not hearing me, but you're defending yourself, let's talk tomorrow. Tomorrow came. She didn't call. So she thought everything was okay. And then you got Kimmy just trying. Well, never mind. I already said enough of that. So pretty much the episode ends with the men meeting up at Black, getting on, I want to say it's a Sprinter van or whatever, and heading to Atlanta to have the boys trip, this, that, and the third. And next week is going to be a whole lot of shenanigans with the men. I feel this episode is going to be draining as hell, but look, we'll see when we get there. So that's all I got. Thank you all so much for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. And next up is Love and Marriage DC.